Yo, YouTube, it's Tofuhero Video, and today I wanted to show you guys my anime movie collection. These will basically include all the standalone movies that aren't related to any series or I guess franchises. So anyhow, my movie collection mostly consists of a Studio Ghibli. Studio Ghibli is basically the Disney of Japan, with Hayao Miyazaki being the main director, as well as music made by Joe Hisashi. Some of these movies are some of the greatest works I've ever seen in anime history. So, anyhow, let me just get started. So the first movie is Kiki's Delivery Service. I actually bought this because it was a Studio Ghibli film, not because I liked it, but I felt it was an okay story. Like it was one of those um, seeing somebody being a child and then slowly growing, developing. It's just like a coming of age story, which is fine. I felt like it didn't have as much I guess flair. It didn't have as much it didn't have very much action at all. It was more just seeing the characters develop, which is okay. But that's why it's the first one that I showed, and it's probably my least favorite out of all the Studio Ghibli films. The next one, Howl's Moving Castle. I'm actually really like this one. I watched this a few times in a few different languages. Um, so the one that I have here is the North American release, so it has English and Japanese. But I did so I was in okay, so I was a big nerd and I was in the IB program and I took French. So I know a little bit of French. I decided right before my exam I'd watch this movie in French just to practice. That didn't really help, but it was just nice to watch. I also watched this movie in Cantonese. It was a good movie. Like I'd have to say, it had a lot of action, magic, um, good music, and just I like the characters a lot. I really like the house, like the little candle flame. But you should probably watch it if you don't know what I'm talking about. The next one would be Spirited Away. Now this is one of those got Studio Ghibli films into America. Like people watched this and they thought the imagination on this was just crazy. This is basically about a young girl, um, I guess, getting traveling through like a strange fantasy. I don't know. I felt like it was. It's just one of those. It's hard to describe it in a few words. Like I'd say, if you're looking for a movie to watch this one. This one appeals to, I guess, a lot of different people. Like it's just amazing. And I think it did it win any awards? Yeah, it won Best Animated Feature at the National Board Review, New York Film Critics. Like this thing is a good movie. Unfortunately, that's not my favorite movie. One of my favorites. Okay, I'd say for the top movie of the Studio Ghibli's, it'd be between these two. So the first one is Porco Rosso. It's basically about a middle-aged guy that turned into a pig after the World War, and he just some of his adventures. I don't know. I found this film to be much more. It caters to me because I'm also a business student, so I feel like one of those a little bit of satire. There's a little bit of magic, not very much at all, and it was very lighthearted. It had a lot of flight. It was lighthearted, and it just showed this middle-aged pig that flies an airplane. In the English dub, Parko is voiced by Michael Keaton, who was the 1989 Batman, which I really like. So I actually like watching this in English. However, I heard that the French dub, like the French voice actor that does Porco, he's really good. I think the director prefers the French version of his voice. Anyhow, and then of course the other movie that ties first place is Princess Mononoke. I'd have to say this movie is just amazing. Like it has a lot of symbolism about hatred, about but like killing gods and like changing the natural order of things. as well as what mankind can and will do to nature. Um, it had a lot of good action, as well as the music was just amazing. Like if I remember music, it's music from this one. So if you search up the Princess Mononoke soundtrack, I have to say the music is some of the most reminiscent. So check that out if you haven't. This movie, it's really good. And this is not a Studio Ghibli film, but it is a standalone film. I have The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Just a simple. The story premise is basically about a girl who finds a way to be able to every time she leaps, she can go back in time and go fix something. But as you can see, with those kind of stories, people realize that doing that, something else might go wrong, or other things might affect other people, and it gets a little weird near the end. I'd say I'm not going to spoil this too much, but it's like you really invested in the characters emotionally. Like when you watch them and you see them struggling through making a certain choice or trying to fix something, it becomes much more serious. And I felt like it was a really thought-provoking movie. As well, there's some other movies that I'm hoping to get and hoping to um, collect. That'd be my list is right now is maybe 5 centimeters per second. Summer Wars, and some more Studio Ghibli films. I actually haven't watched Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro. I feel like everybody loves that film. I don't know. I think I tried to watch it once and it just got really boring, but maybe I'll give it another shot. Um, and maybe The Cat Returns. Like I guess we'll see what other Studio Ghibli movies I'd like to give another shot. And if you guys have anime movies that you'd like me to check out and you think are good, please leave a comment below. Okay, thanks. Tofuhero video out.